Welcome to Brain Buds, the channel where we take complicated psychological ideas and turn them into simple stories you can actually use in real life. Today, we're talking about one of the most powerful forces in human behavior, something that shapes classrooms, workplaces, friendships, families, and even the way we see ourselves. It's called the Pygmalion Effect, and once you understand it, you'll notice it everywhere. To explore this idea, we're going to follow a full story, a journey from a basketball court to a classroom to a scientific lab, and finally, into your own mind. Because the Pygmalion Effect isn't just an academic idea. It's a living loop that can build you up or slowly hold you back, depending on the expectations around you. Imagine you're a new coach for a school basketball team. It's the first day of practice. The gym smells like sneakers and floor polish, and your players are warming up with clumsy dribbles. Two new students walk in, Chris and Joe. You don't know either of them, but when Chris enters, something about him reminds you of a famous player you admired growing up. And when Joe enters, something about him reminds you of an annoying kid from your old class. You don't say anything out loud, but in the span of a few seconds, you've formed two different expectations. Chris, he looks promising. Joe, probably not much to work with. These expectations are invisible, but they're about to change everything. When Chris steps onto the court, you smile, you offer guidance, you show him a technique to improve his shooting. When he misses a shot, you coach him through it patiently. You say things like, "Nice try, keep going, you've got this." When Joe steps onto the court, your reaction is different. You don't greet him with the same warmth. You don't give him extra encouragement. When he misses a shot, you feel a bit annoyed. You don't stop to correct him. You just say, "Focus," and move on. You're not trying to be unfair. You're simply acting based on what you expect from each of them. And that is the first step in the Pygmalion loop: your beliefs, your actions. The next phase is what your actions do to them. Chris feels appreciated, encouraged, supported. He starts believing he has potential. He finds joy in the game. He stays after practice because he wants to improve. He feels seen. Joe feels invisible. He senses your frustration. Without meaning to, you've taught him that mistakes are annoying and that you don't expect much from him. So he loses motivation. He doesn't see the point in staying after practice. Slowly, he starts to show up late, and eventually, he starts missing practices entirely. Now comes the third step: their beliefs, their actions. Chris puts in more effort. He plays harder. He becomes more confident. Joe becomes hesitant, nervous. He stops trying. During games, when things go wrong, he shuts down instead of pushing through.
Joe just isn't motivated.
Finally, the loop circles back to you. Their actions, your reinforced belief. You look at Chris and think, "Wow, I was right about him from the beginning." You look at Joe and think, "I knew he wasn't motivated." But here's the twist. Your belief didn't predict their performance. Your belief created their performance. That is the Pygmalion Effect. When we expect more, we get more. When we expect less, we get less. But this effect goes even deeper than our basketball court scientists have demonstrated it in labs, classrooms, and workplaces. In one famous study, researchers gave a group of volunteers rats and told them, These rats are extremely intelligent and trained to navigate mazes. They told the other half, "These rats are slow and not very smart." In reality, the rats were identical. But guess what happened?
I see you've determined my
The
intelligence.
smart rats performed significantly better in the maze. Why? Because the people handling them were more patient, more gentle, more encouraging, even without realizing it.
It was hilarious.
Their expectations shaped their behavior. Their behavior shaped the rat's performance. If this can happen with rats, imagine how powerful it is with humans. This leads us to Rosenthal and Jacobson's famous classroom experiment. At the beginning of a school year, teachers were told that certain students had exceptionally high potential and were expected to grow intellectually. The twist? These students were chosen completely at random. They weren't smarter. They weren't more talented. They were just average kids who happened to be labeled special. Throughout the year, teachers gave these students more encouragement, more feedback, more patience, more opportunities. Not because they wanted to be unfair, but because their expectations subtly, invisibly shaped their behavior. By the end of the school year, those special students showed dramatic increases in performance. Their IQ scores rose more than the other students' scores. Once again, expectations had become reality. Let's pause for a moment and think about what this means. If a teacher believes a child is gifted, that child will start performing like a gifted student. If a boss believes an employee is talented, that employee will grow into their potential. If a parent believes their child is responsible, the child will start behaving responsibly. But the reverse is also true. Low expectations can quietly, silently limit people. They don't need to be spoken. They don't need to be intentional. They just need to be there. The Pygmalion Effect isn't magic. It's psychology. And it's powerful because it's often invisible. Most of us don't notice when our expectations shape our behavior. Now let's bring this back to something even more personal. Yourself. Because the Pygmalion Effect doesn't just come from other people. It comes from you. Your expectations of your own abilities, your self-beliefs, create your future just as powerfully as a coach or teacher. If you believe you're capable, hardworking, adaptable, you're more likely to act in ways that make those beliefs true. If you believe you're bad at something, or that you'll fail anyway, your actions slowly confirm those beliefs. The loop continues inside your own mind. Belief, action, result, reinforced belief. So what do we do about this? How do we break negative loops? How do we grow positive ones? The first step is awareness. Ask yourself, what expectations am I carrying about others and about myself? Do these expectations limit people or lift them? Do I unconsciously treat some people differently because of assumptions? And maybe the hardest question, what beliefs have I accepted about myself that I never questioned? The second step is intention. Choose to expect growth instead of failure. Choose to see potential instead of limitation. Choose to give encouragement instead of indifference. Your expectation might be the spark someone needs. And the third step is consistency. The Pygmalion Effect doesn't work overnight. It grows slowly through repeated signals, Small encouragements, small opportunities, small moments of belief, just like Chris, who blossomed because he felt seen, and just like Joe, who faded because he felt invisible. We have the power to change which story becomes real. At the end of the day, the Pygmalion Effect teaches us something simple but life-changing. People rise or fall to meet the expectations placed on them. The question is, what expectations are you giving the people around you? And what expectations are you giving yourself? Thank you for watching Brain Buds, where big ideas grow from simple explanations. If you enjoyed today's lesson, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future videos about psychology, learning, and human behavior. And in the comments below, tell us what expectation has shaped your life the most.